Thanks for joining us. The head of the union representing local Alstom workers is reacting to the latest blow to the railcar plant. The Toronto Transit Commission has withdrawn its request for proposals to produce 480 subway cars due to a lack of government funding.
Alstom was one of 4 companies which pre-qualified to submit bids for the massive $2.3 billion contract. Unifor Local 1075 President Justin Roberts says it's not good news for a plant which is struggling to survive.
Oh, well, we are very disappointed that the contract's been put on hold. That contract was very important to us for our future. We're really hoping that when it does come back up for bid, that our facility has a good chance of getting it there. I know we are going to compete to get that contract when it comes back, but we are very disappointed that we have lost it for the time being.
The local plant has produced hundreds of Toronto subway cars in the past, and Roberts was hoping this new contract could help bring back the workforce to previous levels. Around 900 employees were laid off in 2020 when several contracts ended. There's currently about 240 Unifor members working in the plant, but more are coming back as the plant ramps up to refurbish 94 older GO Train cars for Metrolinx. Meanwhile, the first of 60 new streetcars for the TTC was just delivered this week, but the plant needs another contract soon. Roberts wants the federal and provincial governments to come up with their share for the subway cars and increase Canadian content rules to help Alstom win the contract.
And we would really appreciate if the 3 levels of government could get back together and figure this out so we could get some funding to get these contracts going again in the future, because without future contracts, our members, we've only got about 20 to 24 months of work on the books right now, so those contracts are really important to us for our future.
A woman was found dead in a South Side laneway last night. Thunder Bay police are now investigating the circumstances of her death. According to police, officers were dispatched to the 200 block of Norris Street North at around 8:40 p.m. after the body of the deceased woman was located in the back lane. Major crimes and forensics identification units are involved in the investigation. No details have been provided at this time as the identity of the woman or the possible cause of her death. A significant police presence is expected to remain in the area while the investigation continues.
A single vehicle transport crash on Highway 11 near Beardmore resulted in 2 people being transported to hospital early this morning. The transport was flipped onto its roof in the ditch, approximately 20 kilometers south of Beardmore, near the BZA First Nation. Members of the Nipigon OPP, along with firefighters and paramedics, responded and helped extract the occupants. A section of Highway 11 was partially blocked off with traffic control in place. The scene was later attended by an air ambulance, and OPP say both occupants were being transported to hospital. The extent of injuries is unknown at this point. However, police believe them to be non-life-threatening.
Another leadership candidate for the Ontario Liberal Party was in the Northwest this week. Yasser Naqvi is one of the 5 candidates campaigning to lead the Liberals against the Ford government in the next provincial election.
Naqvi made the move back from federal politics to the provincial party and promises to improve health care and connectivity in this region. Mike Lang reports.
I'm running because I'm really concerned about the future of Ontario. Under Doug Ford, we're seeing significant harm to our healthcare system, which is the #1 issue that everybody talks about.
From MPP to MP to potential party leader, Yasser Naqvi spent 11 years in provincial politics in the Ottawa region, serving several cabinet roles in the Kathleen Wynne government. He also became the first visible minority to assume the role of Attorney General in 2016. Then after a 2-year stint as a federal MP, Naqvi announced in June his intent to run for leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. He brought his campaign to Thunder Bay, Kenora, Dryden, Fort Frances, and Sioux Lookout, and promises to make frequent visits to the Northwest if he becomes the Liberal leader.
In order for us to represent Northerners, Northwesterners, we have to come here, not just once, but on a regular basis, so that we can engage and talk to people, we can learn from them. But on top of that, but I want to make sure to build a team that is representative of Northern Ontarians.
Former Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Michael Gravel is a big supporter of NACFI, as they served in cabinet together for many years.
For me, Yasser is the right one. One thing I always knew about Yasser was that he cared a great deal about Northern Ontario. Although he was representing Ottawa in the legislature, he cared a great deal, particularly when he was a cabinet minister, to make sure that he understood what were the priorities in Northern Ontario.
Several other leadership candidates have also made stops in the Northwest, including Nathaniel Erskine-Smith in late June. Presumed frontrunner Bonnie Crombie was in the Northwest in late July, meeting with Liberal Party supporters. The other two leadership candidates are current Liberal MPP Ted Hsu and Adil Shamji. Hsu will be in Thunder Bay next Thursday.
I think all five of us have the right motivations and working really hard to rebuild the Ontario Liberal Party and so that we can defeat Doug Ford in 2026.
September 11 is the last date for Liberal Party members to enter the vote for their new leader. The voting then takes place between November 25th and 26th, while the results will be announced on December 2nd. Mike Lang, TBT News.
A 63-year-old driver from Alberta has been charged with careless driving after colliding with a police cruiser in Kenora. OPP say the incident happened on Lakeview Drive in Kenora just after 12:30 this morning. Police say the driver apparently fell asleep and collided with the side of the police cruiser while officers were conducting radar enforcement. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, but the cruiser sustained considerable damage.
The search for St. Joseph Care Group's next president and CEO has ended, and the role will be going to someone who already works in the organization.
Janine Black is the current vice president at St. Joe's and has had a lengthy career with the Care Group. She'll be taking over in early September. Jess Clement reports.
St. Joseph's Care Group found its new CEO under its own roof. Current Vice President Janine Black will be taking over the role from Kelly O'Brien, who was in the position for a year and a half before resigning back in March. Black's career with the organization started back in 1997 as a speech-language pathologist. She ended up leaving the organization but came back in 2011. Throughout her tenure in the Care Group, she has taken on progressively larger responsibilities, including as manager of Integrated Senior Services, director of Seniors Health, and vice president. She says the mission and culture of the organization has always stood out to her.
The primary thing that brought me back to St. Joseph's Care Group is the mission and vision and values of the organization and the way that impacts our culture. So I watch the way that our leadership interacts with our staff, the way that our staff interact with our clients, the way that everyone here treats each other, and that's why I want to be at this organization and to be leading it in the future.
Board Chair Susan Fraser said Black's appointment followed an extensive national search process that revealed multiple talented candidates. In the end, Black was a perfect fit based on her commitment to quality, care, and safety, and her collaborative leadership style.
We're very happy to welcome Janine. I think she's, again, going to be a tremendous asset leading us forward. We're starting a new strategic plan, so she'll be integrally involved in that, and we have every confidence in the world with her as our new CEO and president.
Black says the organization meets so many diverse needs, and she's excited to lead and work with staff.
My goal is to support the leadership team to move all of our different initiatives forward, and also to support our board of directors as they move the strategic plan forward that they are in the process of developing right now.
Black's position will be effective September 8th. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
One of Thunder Bay's most popular cultural festivals will return to full scale this long weekend after 3 years of being scaled down. Festa Italiana is preparing to welcome back thousands of attendees to the Italian Cultural Center. Festa will take place on Sunday and Monday from noon until 11 p.m. Festival attendees can expect lots of live music and entertainment, contests, and of course an overabundance of food available from its main food vendors. One lucky attendee will also have the chance to win a trip for two to Italy. The layout for this year will be different, with Algoma Street open to traffic and the beer gardens and stage using most of the large parking lot. Italian Society of Port Arthur spokesperson Matt Pescuzzo says they're expecting thousands for Festa.
I'm expecting it'll be similar to previous years, notwithstanding the COVID years. Prior to COVID, we had about 20,000 people come through during the weekend. So it's actually one of the most well-attended cultural festivals in Thunder Bay. So we're looking forward to welcoming, hopefully, that same number of people back again this year.
Admission is free of charge, and proceeds from all sales will be going towards the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Foundation. Well, Fiona, today was still pretty hot out there, but that wind did help to keep us cool a little bit.
Yeah, it really helped keep things from feeling too heavy. Yes. We had a high of 27, and the humidex sitting around 30, but the winds were from the northwest, so they were cool but not too brisk. If you were outside for any period of time, the sun could get a little bit hot, especially in the morning time. It wasn't until the afternoon we saw a few increasing clouds. Now, to the west, there's still lots of sunshine, and on average, the humidex throughout northwestern Ontario is making it feel about 3 to 4 degrees warmer than these numbers would suggest. So, in Fort Frances right now, humidex sitting around 30. Similar in Kenora, in Dryden and Upsala, and into Red Lake and Sioux Lookout. They've got a humidex of 27 at this time, and that's under mostly cloudy skies. They had lots of sunshine earlier in the day. It's just been in the afternoon that the clouds have been increasing to the northwest. As we head eastward, we're in Armstrong and Greenstone, 23, and mostly cloudy as well. Along the North Shore in the mid-20s, and down into Sault Ste. Marie, they had the humidex of 32 this morning, and then for most of the afternoon, they've been dealing with thunderstorms, hours and hours of it. It's starting to taper off, and the sun is back out right now. They're still in line for a couple more over the next couple of hours, but they're currently at 23, and again, a humidex of 26. So here in the city of Thunder Bay tonight, we are going to see mainly clear skies, a low of 16. And as we head into Friday, well, it's actually looking quite comfortable. The humidex won't be quite as extreme in some areas. Thunder Bay is still going to be quite warm, but not too far off for seasonal for this time of year. And a lot of sunshine. I'll have more details on what will follow that for your long weekend later on in the news hour.
Thanks, Fiona. Well, turning to national news, former U.S. President Donald Trump was back in court today. We'll have details on that and much more when we return.
What we saw on January 6th did, in fact, prohibit Congress from actually doing its job.